All right, kiddos. Hope you're doing all right. As promised, here is a life-changing video, and I'm going to illustrate how to use your calculator to analyze data and find regression models. In this case, linear regression models, line of best fit. Right. First thing I want to do is turn diagnostics on, because that's going to tell if that's a good fit or not. So I did not write that out here, but please do so. Hit. There's got to be a quick way to do it. I'm not sure how, but I hit second catalog, second 0, and that gives you all the things that this calculator does. So I'm going to go to diagnostics on, turn it on, and bam. Okay, bam, bam. Good. Okay, now when I do this analysis, it will tell me how good or not so good the line of best fit is with that correlation coefficient, R squared. So here we go. Let's put the data in, right? So how do we put it in? Well, we press stat, boom, and that brings us into all the statistical things this calculator can handle. And then I press enter for edit, and then I want to go in and put the data in L1 and L2, right? So you can either clear each one, or you can literally type over the existing entries. Or you can put in L3, L4, it doesn't matter. But if you put in L3, L4, you have to do things a little bit differently later down the road. All right, so I'm going to put this data in that compares the temperature to the volume, right? 20, 40, those are my temp values, 60, 80, 100. And then I'm going to put the Y values in nice and easy, the corresponding volume of the gas, and that's going to be what? 60, 65, 70, 75, and 80. Oh, wow, this is a perfect linear regression. How about that? So now what I'm going to do is, once the data is in, right? So I got my data in L1 and L2. That's how I input the data, right? Please do make sure that your lines match up, right? Otherwise, you'll get this error message. It will say dimension mismatch, and that will happen if something like this happens, right? So the x value of 120 has no corresponding y value. So the calculator doesn't know what to do with that, so it says, hey, you can't do that. Oops, how do I get rid of that? Okay, so make sure that your dimensions match up. Okay, now I want to plot it, right? I want to see it. So in order to do so, we have to turn our plots on. To do so, I hit second y equals, which is right here, stat plot. Okay, and I want to turn my plots on. So mine are already on. Yours might say off. But to turn it on, if it's not already on, this will be black, the off, and just toggle over to on, press enter. Okay, and it's on scatter plot, which is what we want. And then since I put it in L1 and L2, my lists, I don't have to do anything here, right? If it's in L3 and L4, you want to change that to L3, L4. Okay? L6, L7, whatever, L6, L7. Okay? Now what I want to do, there's a cheeky little trick to give me the correct window. So what I want to do is I want to zoom and hit the appropriate window. So now, before I see it, I'm going to press zoom and toggle down to stats, right? So what this does is the calculator learns the proper viewing window for the data I have in and gives it to me. Press enter, and so here's the data, right? Boom. That's what it looks like. Okay, it looks linear for sure, and it is exactly linear according to the constant slope I see in front of me. But regardless, that's how I see it, right? Now I want to find the linear regression, the function that best fits that data, right? So to do that, I'm going to also, oh, and I haven't finished this. I'll finish this as I'm talking. But with the data already in, which I already have, I'm now going to retrieve the stat menu. And instead of editing, I'm going to hit calculate. Right? And these are all the different regression models I can find for data. We'll work through all the other ones later. I want the linear regression, which is here, right? Not to be confused with the logarithmic regression, okay? I guess you could use that too. It's just a little different form, but just as easy to use this linear regression, number 4, right? So stat calc and then hit linear regression, ax plus b, right? So that will give me the equation of the line, the function, in y equals a, or mx plus b form, right? So I press enter. I press enter once more, unless my lists are in L3 and L4, L5, L6, in which case you would have to press L3, comma, L4. But the default is L1, L2, which is why it's easier to do it in the first place in L1 and L2. So now I'm just going to press enter. So press enter one more time, and bada bing, bada boom, right? So there's my linear regression model, which would be y equals 0.25 x plus 55b. Right? It's a perfect fit. That's what r squared equals 1 is telling me. 1 is a perfect fit, and that's as I expected. Okay. Now, if I want to put that in my calculator, my graphing, I'm sure there's a shortcut, but I don't remember it. So I have to remember 0.25 is my slope, and 55 is my y-intercept. So I just remember that. There's got to be an easier way to do it. I don't know it. Right? And now if I want to graph the line through those points, there it is. And it's a perfect fit. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay? And very seldomly will we have a perfect fit for data. This one just happened to be engineered to be a perfect fit, right? And I know it's a perfect fit, once again, because of this r squared, or r, equaling 1, right? 1 is a perfect fit. Further away from 1 is essentially, it means the worse of a fit the line is for the data. Okay? All right, so that's how we input data, stat edit. All right, that's how we find, plot it. We look at it, turn the plots on. And this is how we find the linear regression model, stat calculate. Okay? All right, and then of course we can interpret that, etc., etc. All right, let me know if you have questions. Here's a fun little viewing window. There's a line, bada bing, bada boom. Okay? Actually, one other trick. Now that I have this model, this linear regression, this linear function in y1, if I ask, well, what's the value of y when x is 24? There's a little way my calculator can do it, a little bit easier. So I'm going to hit second table set, and I'm going to ask the calculator to ask me what the independent of the x value is, and it will tell me automatically the corresponding y value, dependent value. So as long as that's an ask for independent, if I hit second table, go into the table. So what's the value of y when x is 25? 61.25. How about negative 140, 20, right? So you plug in any x value, it gives you the corresponding y value, and it's looking in, y1, right? And since y1 I already have, it's my linear regression, I can use that accordingly. All right? Have fun. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.